Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Women Love Sports. This is our first episode of the second season. You'll have to forgive me. My voice is going out, going a little bit hoarse. But in addition to doing the Blog Talk Radio, we will also be streaming our YouTube videos. So after we get done recording this, check out our YouTube station, and we will have this whole broadcast uploaded. So there's gonna be, I guess, some new ways that we go about our show this season. Aside from the YouTube thing, we're also going to pretty much give you an open dialogue. If there's something that you want to talk about, go ahead, give us a call. 1-800, or I'm sorry, 805-727-7099. Give us a call. Let's discuss whatever you have to talk about. Also, we're going to be just picking a topic for, the day, and we'll discuss that until we get someone that calls in that either wants to continue that discussion or discuss something different. So today, we're going to start our discussion off with the U.S. Olympic team. They have been in the news quite a bit lately regarding whether or not these NBA players who play on the USA Olympic team should be paid. So I think it kind of started an uproar with Ray Allen, and then with Dwayne Wade kind of backing him up on that, and then it got blown all out of proportion that Dwayne said he wanted to be paid to be on the Olympic team. I think it's really just been brought to the players' attention. Ray Allen was saying that after having a grueling season, especially for those players who are in the playoffs, they then turn around and have to go and play in the, obviously it's a privilege, but they turn around and they have to play on the Olympic team. And Dwayne just kind of backed him up, and it spiraled into Dwayne wants to be paid. Now, I just kind of want to clear everything up, because Dwayne did come back and say that, he has been reading a lot of reports coming out about his comments about Olympics and compensation. And he said, and I quote, "I want to clear this up personally. I responded to a specific question asked by a reporter on my thoughts of Olympians being paid. I never asked to be paid to play. What I was referencing to is there's a lot of Olympic business that happens that athletes are not a part of. It is a complicated issue, but my love for the game and pride for USA motivates me more than any dollar amount. I repped my country in 2004 when we won the silver medal and stood proudly to receive the gold medal in 2008 in Beijing. It's always been an honor for me to be a part of the Olympic U.S. family, and I am looking forward to doing it again in London this summer." So I think basically what they're responding to is that obviously there are Olympic jerseys that are being sold, there's memorabilia, things of that nature, and the players don't get any part of that money because they're not being paid. So what are your thoughts on that? Go ahead, give us a call, 805-727-7099. Matt, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of one of those things to where Dwayne made a point to where it's a lot of inside business that goes on that not too many people know about. And I'm quite sure athletes don't know about it as well. Should athletes be paid? I mean, I don't necessarily think so. I think that it could be one of those escalators in their contract. Where not they make the Olympic team. They'll get an extra amount. From the team. But as far as being a separate paycheck, no, I don't see why not.
It poses a good question, as far as if they should be paid. I mean, that people who play that are in the Olympics, like runners and people like they get paid obviously to do it, but should NBA players get paid? It's a touchy subject. It's iffy because a lot of people are screaming, your pride for your country should be, enough. You shouldn't get paid. But it is time that they're taking out of their schedule, time away from their family. It's off season. It is a little bit of the downtime that they have. A lot of those players have children, they have wives, and maybe their kids or their wives can't travel with them in the way that they would hope that they could. So because of that, it is kind of a touchy subject, and it's touchy as far as should they get paid or not. But the other question that is posed is about the actual athletes themselves. Should NBA athletes even be in the Olympics? Is it, I mean, if you look at it that the USA is posing the best of the best of their, basketball teams, then sure, they should play. But there are a lot of people who are saying that the people that play in for the U.S. Olympic team should be the 21 and under, the, pro college, not pro college, but the college players, the players entering into the draft, things like that. So,
And I think when you add guys who the incoming freshman class, the junior seniors, those who are about to enter the college draft, I think it would be a good experience for them to experience something different, experience another level of play, and also kind of get acclimated to the different atmosphere of these athletes, and kind of their mentality, kind of get them used to this newfound fame and glory, help them to enter the league. Or into the next level, and with a different mind frame, it kind of help them get adjusted. So I don't see why it's they shouldn't, or even the idea, the thought should even be, it should be entertaining. I think
I think it should. I think that honestly, as the U.S., we are as a whole very competitive. That being said, I think because we're that competitive, the U.S. wants to use, like I said, the best, the cream of the crop, the players that, they feel are going to, one, draw the most ratings, and two, bring that gold home.
Mm-hmm.
So the pride that we have in us as a country is, I think, what motivates them for using NBA players. But I absolutely also agree that it should be entertained, that college students, use it as a scouting tool for those kids entering into the draft. Take the potential number one, through 13 picks and build a team. I think that it's definitely, if you look at the Coach K has been coaching the U.S. team for years, so obviously you got a college coach, which no doubt I think is the cream of the crop, the best of the best in coaches. But you do have those NBA players.
Yeah. So it's a good point. But give us a call. Tell us what you think. 805-727-7099. You can also find us on Twitter, Real Women Love Sports. Just give us a call, send us a message, tell us what you think about college or about athletes, period, being paid for playing in the Olympics, or even what you think about non-professional athletes like the college and the incoming collegiate class, about them, playing in the Olympics. Give us a call, let us know what you think.
That kind of, you saying that actually kind of brought up a good question for me in my head, that may be a reason why a lot of collegiate players are not playing. Because as, is being stated, there's a lot of money made behind the Olympics, and the NBA players are not getting paid. But also, if you decide to pull in college players and things like that, would they get paid? Because a college player, that's a very hot topic in the collegiate sports right now, is college players. Should they be paid? Should they not be paid for, their normal games? But if you get a college player and you take him over into the U.S. Olympic team, does that, now should he be paid? Do we have to change it? Well, obviously we would have to change some NCAA rules.
Exactly.
And that will open up the floodgates for people saying that they should be paid for their regular games.
Well, you know, I think if you know, making that comment there is that if you open up the door, if you open up the Olympics to collegiate athletes, then obviously you would definitely have to entertain or bring up the topic again, which is it's been brought up several times in the past few years, whether or not these athletes, these college athletes, going to be paid. So I mean, it's kind of it's going to be one of those things that I think that you can't have one without the other. You can't have a college athlete play in the Olympics without them being paid in the college, in the collegiate level as well as in the Olympics, But then again, if you're going to pay a collegiate athlete, why not pay a professional athlete to play in the Olympics? How is your Olympic team going to be? It's going to be, 50% collegiate, athletes. It's going to be 50%, professional athletes. I mean, how are you going to do it? You're going to have one or two collegiate athletes. It's going to be a wide variety of questions. It's going to cover a lot of topics. So you got to be prepared. The NCAA, NBA, they got to be prepared to answer those questions and come up with a solution that's going to be very helpful to both sides, and at the same time not be detrimental to these collegiate athletes as they're playing, in the NCAA.
Well, I think you kind of brought it out there with saying it's gonna say you can't pay them to be on the U.S. team if you're not gonna pay them in college, and I believe that may be a key point to why they're not used in the Olympic team, because it is such a hot topic with whether or not they should be paid to play collegiate ball that is going to open up those floodgates. It's going to open up topics that the NCAA are not ready to handle or deal with, because once you decide, okay, they're going to be paid for the U.S. team, now they're going to have to be paid for their collegiate playing. Okay, how do you pay them? How do you go about paying the player that's on the court versus the player that sits on the bench? I remember last year it was brought up, okay, pay them. If you're a freshman, you get 1,000, you get 2,000 or whatever. A sophomore gets 3,000, the junior gets 4,000, the senior gets 5,000. But it's like, come on, one, is anybody gonna adhere to that? And what happens to the breakout? What happens to Dwayne Wade? Dwayne didn't make it to his senior year. He left his junior year. But obviously that means his junior year and his sophomore year, he was playing 1,000 times better than some of the senior classes of Marquette basketball. Some of our seniors were sitting on the bench. So is that senior getting paid $5,000 to sit on the bench, while this sophomore who's outplaying them is only getting $2,000 or $3,000? It becomes a matter of how do you pay them when they're in college.
Well, even then, when you come across as far as paying them in the collegiate level, are they going to need an agent? Are they going to have to redo the criteria for sports agents contacting these athletes? Are we going to have a NCAA, a collegiate union? Are we going to have a rep? Are we going to have some type of organization that's going to represent all these guys? I mean, once you add in money to the mix of paying players, period, then it becomes a touchy subject. I mean, people will tell you up and down, oh, I play for the love of the sport, blah, blah, blah. No, I think that's a load of crap. I mean, because when it comes down to when they see how much they can actually make, all that love, it's all out the window. It's. I'm not saying every athlete's like that, but you have some who are just like, I don't care what you pay me, I just want to play. You're gonna have some like that. But when you think of what the athletes who, when the topics come out as far as being paid.
We have a caller on the line. Let's answer this call real quick. Caller, you're on Real Women Love Sports. Hello? Yes.
Hi.
Hi, what's going on?
Greetings and salutations all the way from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
All right. Milwaukee callers in the house. What's going on? So what are your thoughts here? What are your thoughts here about I mean, we went from should NBA players be be paid for the U.S. Olympic team, all the way to if you allow college players on the U.S. Olympic team, should they be played, and would that open up the gates to making them being played in their college games? What do you think?
Well, first of all, I think they shouldn't use college players for that. That's just my thoughts. But NBA players should definitely get paid because that's like overtime.
True.
Who wants to go work overtime and not get paid for it? That's time and a half.
Well, why don't you feel that